everybody, it's SaskiaSketches, and today I wanted to give you a little break from the Ultimate Elemental Animal Challenge and just walk you through how I make fake anime screenshots. Okay, so before we begin, I wanted to give a massive shout out to KANTAKERRO on Twitter. Twitter. I have a link in the description to the particular thread that really explained in depth and detail how to do this sort of thing. I have my own method for it, but it's very similar. So please go check out their tutorial if you want some more tips, because they're incredibly talented and their work is so cool to look at. Especially if you work in a software other than Krita, because I'm going to be explaining my process in Krita. This one is for Paint Tool Sai. So once again, check that out in the description. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I look at anime screenshots of the type of thing that I would like to draw, and then I base my first sketch and second sketch layer based on those screenshots. And this one, I took one from Attack on Titan, and I kind of based my general composition on that one. I did zoom in a little bit after I finished everything, but that's where the composition came from mainly, and that's really important. If you want to make something look anime, is to look at actual anime, obviously. Then the second sketch layer, I am focusing mainly on the line width and stuff. I'm grabbing a really thin brush, and I'm not really paying too much attention to making my lines look particularly anime, because there's not really a rhyme or reason to it apart from this very little line width variation, and the lines are very thin. So other than that, obviously it's also a good idea to sketch in a general anime style to make this look more anime, but again, it's not required. So I just do my kind of my line work. I'm not really sure whether I want to call it a line work. I just do a second sketch layer basically. I think that takes kind of the pressure off it, because I don't really like doing line work, so I've just cut it out altogether and just renamed it to second sketch layer, because I feel like you get a little bit more leeway that way, and it's just a psychological thing, I guess. But yeah, just there's not much to the line work. Just make sure it's thin, and that you don't have much line weight variation apart from in the eyes and a couple black fills. That's what I do, because I have seen a couple anime do that and it works. Yeah, I also have a couple line breaks here and there. It's just my style basically. And after I finish the line work, I do a little bit of coloring. So I make a what's it called? I forgot the name. I think it's Alpha Lock in Krita. I make the line work just a little bit less, pure black. I'm not using pure black for the lines. I made it either a really dark brown or really dark blue for the cold aspects of the piece, and the dark brown for the warmer aspects of the piece. And then I move on to the colors. So for anime, it's really important that you again look at your reference, look at the kind of anime that you want to draw, and pick from and pick based on the reference. Don't just pick from the reference, just pick based on the reference, and pick so colors with the same sort of saturation and the same same brightness, that sort of thing, and really make sure that your colors look anime, and just color in the flats like you normally would. I'm doing a little bit of airbrush on Maria here, because I really like doing that in my style. So it's not particularly anime, but I don't care. I'm doing it anyway, because these rules, they're really handy and cool for making anime stuff look anime, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to follow this. Later on, I'll show you a couple tricks that will make anything look anime. Yeah, so a little bit of details, and most of these rules actually you can ignore in the eyes. That's very something very particular about anime, is those really bright and detailed eyes. So you can pretty much do anything from gradients to cell shading. It will probably look fine if you do it just in the eyes, and it's going to look really cool as a sort of contrast. After I do the flats, I do the background. I got this tip from KANTAKERRO'S thing, because I do the background after I've done all my work, but now I do the background after the flats, so I can make sure that all my colors work with the background. It's a really good tip that I highly recommend you work on as well. And for this one, I again picked some anime backgrounds. Anime backgrounds are usually very, very detailed, especially in films. Anime films, the backgrounds are usually really, really pretty, and you can use even watercolors or watercolor brushes. It just really depends on the kind of thing that you want to do. I'm not really too fantastic with anime backgrounds. I'm not really too familiar with how to draw these properly, but I still really like the one that I was able to get. Then after that, I do a tone layer, and these tone layers are really, really important to get the time of day right, or the kind of lighting that you've got. So if you're inside, you're going to do depending on the lighting, say you're in a dark room, you're probably going to have a dark blue or a dark purple tone layer over top, and a tone layer is just you just fill everything in with one particular color that really works for your piece and the mood that you want to get, and you set it to multiply and then turn the opacity way down, and you'll see that you immediately have the effect that you're in a different space or in a different room or in a different kind of lighting. So this piece takes place at night, so you would see more a dark blue or dark purple kind of tone layer. Then after that, I take the same color with the multiply layer, just a new layer, still a multiply, the same color but the opacity a bit higher, and I do the shading. And I just do some cell shading, and again, just if you don't really know how you want to do it, just look at anime and try and figure out how you want to do this, and just shade based on your light source. My light source is Maria, because her main is going to be made of fire. I haven't drawn any fire yet, but that's important to shade based on your light source, obviously. So if your light source is the sun, then shade based on the sun, right? After that, I do the same thing but with a different color, and this time I'm using a luminosity or a shine layer, and this one is in Krita, but it's also in Paint Tool Sai. This one I also got from the tutorial. It's a really, really interesting way of doing lighting, because I normally wouldn't do lighting, I just do shading, and maybe for the lighting I would just erase from the tone layer, but for this one I'm doing just the shading, but the opposite, I guess. I'm painting in the light with this new layer. I just experimented with it a little bit more. And then obviously I'm drawing the fire. Every anime has a different way of drawing fire, so I just drew fire the way that I would normally draw it, basically. And I adjust the shading based on that. And after that, it's pretty much finished, the piece, like all the colors and everything. I think I do a couple effects, just a little bit of color adjustment in the background and some sparks from the fire main, but that's pretty much it for the first phase, I guess. Just the drawing aspect of it is done, and after I do that, I just do I save this as a PNG, and I put it over top of my drawing, and I add a blur, and by adding this blur, the whole thing comes together, and all of a sudden it just looks anime. It's such an interesting way of working. And then I do another blur, just a very, very blurry blur, like a Gaussian blur all the way up to 100, and then I erase just the middle of it, so only the edges are blurred. And this is the final result. I'm really, really stoked with how it came out. Also, you can add some subtitles to make it look extra anime. I use a font Bahnschrift, I think. I usually use that one. But you can use whatever font you like. And yeah, there you go. That's an anime screenshot for you, a fake one. If light in the darkness were an anime. There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!